The development of the fridge and the freezer have revolutionised the amount of shellfish we eat.
It's a real challenge to take seafoods to the mass market. We all know how quickly seafoods can spoil, so getting them from the sea to your plate safely is the issue.
And the majority of seafood sold in the UK is pre-cooked and frozen. We buy over 23,000 tonnes of it a year.
Once it's cooked, you need to freeze the seafood in individual bits and also very quickly. And for that, you need some hefty bits of kit.
There had been a breakthrough in freezing technology in the 1960s, developed to quick freeze peas and still keep them separate. It was called IQF, or individual quick freezing. Seafood processors found it was the ideal way to make their products last longer too.
Above me, the prawns are entering a liquid nitrogen dip. The liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees C freezes the outside of the prawn very quickly, which helps lock in flavour and moisture. After leaving the liquid nitrogen dip, the prawns then pass into a series of blast freezers at minus 30 degrees C. This chills the core temperature down to the final packing temperature of minus 28.
The whole freezing process is completed in just 9 minutes.
It's important to freeze seafood quickly because quick freezing means you get small ice crystals. Slow freezing would produce big ice crystals, which damage the tender structure of the seafood.
But for fresh seafood products, technology has also provided some revolutionary packaging methods.
The pack doesn't look exactly high-tech. It's actually filled with a mixture of 3 gases, and that prevents the product from spoiling and also eliminates the need for artificial preservatives.
In the pack is a mixture of 3 different gases: nitrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now, those gases are just normally in the air around us, but in the pack they're in different ratios, so that bacteria won't grow as quickly, and that means the seafood lasts longer.
In fact, it will last up to 8 days instead of only 2. Easily enough time to get it into the shops and onto your plate. From the same family as the mussel, the molluscs, comes this beautiful squid. What we're going to do with this is calamari frit, deep-fried squid rings with a little bit of mayonnaise. Beautiful dish. This is the squid in its rawest form. Now, if you can't face prepping it up, then get to know your fishmonger, because he'll do it for you. But if you do want to have a go at it, it's actually very, very easy. These are the longest tentacles. These are the ones that are used for catching prey, and you can see the little suckers on the end there that they use. We're going to just pull the head from the body. All right, so that is the head of the squid. These are the fins at the back that propel him along. And we're just going to remove those very simply by pulling them away with the skin, and underneath is this beautiful tube of squid meat. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bang the end of the tube like that and just push up, and oh, out pops the engine room. Look at that. Oh. Right. So that's the messy bit over with. You either love it or you don't, and I love it. Right. Now, there's a bit of cartilage in here. Watch this. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? It's the first time I found one of those in the squid, I thought someone had put it in there before I pulled it out. That's amazing. Right, we're going to slice this up into rings. Keep these evenly sliced, so all the same width and not too wide. Squid has dense layers of a protein called collagen in its flesh. It's got 3 to 5 times more collagen than fish, which gives it a more meaty structure. That's our squid, and I'm going to pour onto that some milk. And this is the first stage of making it crispy. The squid just sits in the milk just for a few seconds, and the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to put it into the flour. But what we're going to do is we're going to season the flour first. For me, this is quite a Spanishy dish, calamari frit. You know, it's what you have when you're in Spain. This is paprika. It's just, instead of using pepper, it's just going to give it a nice Spanishy bite. A little bit of salt in there. There we are. Give that a stir around. OK, we're going to put our squid into the flour, and that milk will help the flour cling to the squid. So in it goes. Just give it a good mix round. Right, so what we're going to do now is transfer our floured squid to a clean bowl. And the reason I'm doing this is just to get rid of a lot of the excess flour. It's the flour that will crisp up and give it that sort of recognisable crispiness on the outside. So often I've had this huge bowl of squid put in front of me and you think, fantastic, just a couple of beers, I'll be fine. And no, you're not fine because it's rubbery and you just can't eat it. And it's two reasons. Either the oil is too cold or the squid is overcooked. So lower it into nice hot fat. If you haven't got a fryer, just set one up in a pot on the stove. Just keep it moving around a little bit. Squid contains a lot of collagen. And what happens when that collagen heats up too hot is it squeezes out all the moisture, and that's what leaves you with rubbery squid. The flour and milk layer forms a crispy surface which keeps the precious moisture in and helps to protect the collagen-rich flesh of the squid from overcooking.